All right, so on this episode, we've got our drywall stocked. In the last couple days, we spent putting up all this insulation. So today we're gonna talk about the insulation details, what we had to do to meet the required R values with only a 2x4 exterior wall, and how we opted for some extra fire safety and soundproofing in our wall assemblies as well.
Colorado Rehab, a Build Pro original series. Sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors.
So we can start with the interior walls. Something that's nice, especially when you have big vaulted ceilings like this. Obviously you need fire blocks to limit fire being able to travel up the wall. Another easy way to prevent that while also adding some extra robustness to your wall is doing an insulation like this. This is Rockwool Safe and Sound. It's fire resistant, it's non-combustible is a better way of saying that. It also works great as a sound insulator is probably the right term for that. Basically, sound going in here. If we have kids running around out here, you won't hear it in the bedroom, vice versa. We put it in the floors as well, so you won't hear people walking around as much. It will also help just keep the temperature more regulated all throughout the home as well, as long as the HVAC system is ducted properly with your sends and returns. That'll keep everything super even. In the area where we're at, we have a lot of potential for wildfires, things like that, so having the extra fire protection is definitely a nice bonus. So in our exterior walls, you can see we've got the Rockwool comfort bat. This is R15, and that will fit inside of our 2x4 wall cavity. Now, this will operate in tangent with the continuous exterior insulation on the outside, which will help reduce thermal bridging overall. While on the inside part here, we've got the potential for thermal bridging between that 3.5 inches of stud space. We've got the continuous R6 on the outside, so I want 30% of my insulation on the exterior, and then I have the other 70% on the interior. So because I'm going for a total of R21, or really it's more like R21.5, that puts me right at the edge where I can do R15 instead of R13 and get that extra 2 points of R value in the wall assembly. These have the same non-combustible ratings as the Safe and Sound, which is great, especially being on the exterior. If a fire's coming to the house, it's coming from the outside in, hopefully. We're aiming to not start any fires inside of here, which is probably a good thing. So having this on the exteriors as well is just a little bit extra peace of mind that these will help keep things from spreading inside the wall cavities. The insulation isn't just going to go up in flames like some older homes where your insulation is literally made out of ground up newspapers and things like that. All right, I'm gonna take a minute and give a shout out to one of the companies that's made this whole Colorado Rehab happen, and that's Huber Engineered Woods. As someone who's still pretty early in my career, I'm learning a lot of these things in real time, and Huber has actually played a really big part in that. Not just the products, but understanding how to build these assemblies the right way. They're known for innovation in the building space, but what I've noticed that everything they do is really builder focused. It's not overcomplicated, it's just systems that make sense on the job site. On this house specifically, we ran into a situation where we wanted to increase the exterior performance, add continuous insulation, tighten up the air and water control, but we didn't want to rip everything off and start from scratch. And that's where their system came into play. They helped me understand how to layer everything properly, work with the existing structure we already had, and still get a big performance upgrade. It's just a way more streamlined process. And that's the difference. It's not just individual products, but it's how everything works together as a system. At the end of the day, what I respect about Huber is they're helping you solve real problems, saving time, reducing headaches, and helping you build something that's actually gonna last. So big thanks to Huber for supporting the project and helping me level up on this one. For the attic, I switched from a vented attic to an insulated attic, or a conditioned attic is really the proper term for that. Because the comfort bat, the max I can get in this space is an R38, I had to do something called a flash and bat, which is basically where I do layer of spray foam first, which will achieve my vapor barrier. It will also seal off my soffit connection, I suppose, above the wall. And then it'll give me the R value I need. In this case, I needed R62, because for the roof, in this climate zone specifically, we're in climate zone 5B, we have the same kind of ratio we had with the walls, except it's now 40% to 60%. So I needed R24 on the spray foam, and then I needed R38 for the comfort bats. So I have a total of R62 in the entire attic. It is a conditioned attic. There's not a ton of space to really use up there because it's scissor trussed in 90% of the house, but still it just simplifies things. And I'm overall a much bigger fan of a conditioned attic than I am just a traditional vented attic. So another thing that definitely weighted the scales as far as my decision to go with Rockwool's stone wool insulation. Builders are becoming a lot more conscious in the way they build, not only in the efficiency of a home, but also in the cleanliness of the material, for lack of a better term. This is not a fiberglass insulation. It's also naturally mold resistant. It's going to help support the air quality of the home over time. There's a lot of people that have chemical sensitivities, so different types of foam insulation can bother them. The product is CFC and HCFC free, and because of that, they've earned Green Guard's highest certification of indoor air quality. So that's definitely a plus for this material. So because the existing exterior walls in the basement were all 24 on center, we had to go with the 24-inch bats down here. Absolutely no problem with that. I am going to be doing a thicker drywall down here to help reduce waviness and make sure I still have a nice strong wall. If someone leans on it, it's not gonna break and you'll fall through the wall. Because I have the 8-inch foundation wall on the other side of this, I really don't need that much R value. So I just put the R13 bats in here. Even that is more than I need, but we're gonna go ahead and do it anyways. Again, we have the same fire and sound resistance, which is great. Not too worried about that with the concrete, but where that does come in handy is in the ceiling. So here I went with safe and sound as well. This fits perfectly inside the I-joist bays. You can just tuck it up. The bottom flanges of the I-joist will hold it up perfectly. That is going to greatly reduce the sound transfer from the upstairs to the downstairs. And something I love about it is when you're walking around upstairs, you don't hear that sort of hollow thud walking around on a framed floor. That's really common in Colorado. We have to dig our foundations really deep because of the soil qualities. So almost every house out here has a basement, which means you're hearing all of that walking in the floor above you. Safe and sound insulation there. It's going to greatly reduce the sound. And again, it's the thing I get to say about every single one of these products. It's got the non-combustible rating, so I don't have to worry about fire going up and traveling through the floor very quickly. So that's definitely a big plus there. It also helps a lot because we're dealing with a lot of drop ceiling framing in the basements. Usually we'll have to do draft stop and fire blocking and all this stuff it's a little bit tedious coming from a framer who has to install it personally. By filling literally every single void with safe and sound insulation, I'm completely eliminating that risk. And by putting it in the soffits as well, where I have the air ducts, it's going to reduce the sound you'll hear from the heat pump, whether it's pushing air conditioning, heat from the furnace throughout the house. It's gonna be a lot quieter. You're not gonna be hearing things kicking on. You're not gonna be hearing water draining through the pipes. If you can swing it, it's better to put insulation everywhere you possibly can. So down here, this is the mini closet under the stairs. You can see here, I put the same safe and sound under the stair stringers. The reason I did this, I'm not too worried about the fire aspect here, although that's still a benefit. Because these are wood framed stairs, you really hear the hollow thudding while walking down. This helps reduce that, and they feel a lot more solid. You're not hearing the sound bounce around inside the framed area. This is gonna get drywalled as well, so that would amplify the acoustic elements of it if there was no insulation in here. So that's an easy thing to opt for there. So now with all the insulation up, the home is insulated. We've got our thick coat on essentially. We're protected from the weather. We've got water on and we don't have to worry about freezing pipes. The next step is to move on to covering things up and putting lipstick on the pig and making this thing look really nice.